Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It is in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing a flagship for the Breguet Marine line launched in 2009. This is the Marine Royale Alarm, and the Royale Alarm is an extraordinary dive watch. I thought we should get that out of the way before progressing through a review of this extravagant alarm. Take note, not only does it have a nice bright ringing sustain to it, but we do have an on-off trigger down at 8 o'clock that allows you to arm and disarm the alarm, and then a little indicator up at 12 o'clock that lets you know with a musical note whether the alarm is armed. So I'm going to screw these crown down real quick. This is a remarkably large watch, and it is a grand timepiece deserving of the appellation Royale. So 45 millimeters in diameter in red gold. The watch is 17.5 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip, 56.7 millimeters with a 23 millimeter spacing between the lugs. I'll be frank, it is too large for my wrist. I believe you need a wrist of at least 17 centimeters circumference to wear this. As you can see, the lugs are projecting far beyond my wrist, meaning proportionally it's just a little off. That said, if you like your luxury watch to weigh a ton, this one does. It genuinely feels special, even in the hand, even on the wrist. Now the strap is as extravagant and royal as the watch itself, and this is what royalty wears. We have medium rectangular scale alligator leather in a dark brown with a contrasting stitch, a great deal of bolstering to add thickness. We have a sheer cut side showing the layers of leather. You can see on the bottom it is calfskin. It is a brand new Breguet factory strap. It is fixed to the case using screws and bars, and that is the way to do it when you have an immensely valuable and heavy sports watch. The screw and bar solution offers a great deal more security than something like a spring bar. Now, taking a quick look at the clasp, there is a repeating motif on these marine watches. We have this wave motif. You can see it in the strap minders, which are made of gold, not leather here. And then you can see it again in the profile of the buckle. And then you can see it again in the trigger that arms and disarms the alarm. And then you can see it again in the little indexing detent, the pawl system that's related to the operation of the bezel. And then you can arguably see it again in the undulating rosette of the guilloché on the dial. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Taking a quick look at the case, it is impressively built. The lugs are welded on, so case and lug built separately, welded together, and then hand finished to remove evidence of the joint. You can see that the case is cold rolled to create this coining. The lug profiles are severe, powerful, angular, and polished. The outer lip of the bezel is polished, but then the interior is circular satin finished with engraved individual numerals. We'll have a quick listen to this bezel. Spoiler alert, it's very vocal. That might be the most robust bezel detent I have ever encountered. It's a 60-click bezel, so they're fewer but chunky. You can line up the luminescent index with the hour hand, or I should say the minute hand or the hour hand right there. We'll do a quick Lume shot right here, having lined up. You can see that this watch is spectacular. Take a good look there. Note that the hour and minute hand are luminescent, but so is the alarm hand that shows you what position is alarmed, and so is the alarm power reserve. And as you can see, they are generous with that luminescent pearl on the bezel, making it easy to tell where your bezel pearl is and easy to line it up. And you can use that as a 0 to 60 minute count up chronograph. Basically, you don't need a chronograph as long as you've got a dive bezel. If you're not timing anything longer than 60 minutes, you'll find it's easier to read a dive bezel, and most chrono minute registers only go up to 30 seconds anyway. Now, this watch is immensely water resistant, down to 300 meters, so it is a true dive watch. The dial is made of solid gold, so a disc of gold cut on a rose lathe to create these lovely billowing rosette patterns, and then galvanizing is used to apply the sort of slate, one might even say vaguely smoke-colored dial. We have a number of different elements, including the rose gold hands, the rose gold frame for the on-off indication, the rose gold applique Roman numerals, and then a few shocks of blue relating to the functions of the alarm, the setting of the alarm with this triangular index, and then the alarm power reserve indicator. And that little alarm power reserve indicator lets you know how well the alarm is wound, that is, whether it's ready to go. Now, you can wind the alarm manually using the crown up at, I guess we could say that's about 215. The movement also has the ability to wind the alarm power reserve using its rotor, but that is much slower going. And of course, we have the ability to adjust the hands using that crown. Take note, hacking seconds is active. There is a hacking seconds function. We also have a quick set for the date mechanism. And then we have a crown down at 4 o'clock that allows you to set the position of the alarm, and that's how that works right there. Now turn it all over. The movement is impressive. It is Blancpain derived, though it's not specifically the exact same movement you'll find in the Revi GMT. It is a beautiful caliber, beautifully made. Breguet calls this the 519R. It is automatic winding. It has a 45-hour power reserve, and it has the combination of the alarm with on-off and power reserve indication. It beats weight 8 beats per second, pivots on 36 joules. It is adjusted in 5 positions, which is the standard for high horology and chronometer watches, generally considered to be quite comprehensive. And you can see that it features a free sprung balance for greater durability against shock and fine adjustment of the mechanism. It's also nicely finished. We have a lovely sort of wave pattern. It's half wave, half seashell, cut with a rose lathe into the winding mass. Engine turned perlage in 2 different sizes on the base plate. You can see that there is a sort of solarization across the striker, which also features beveling on its edges. There's beautiful anglage on the edge of the bridges, probably started mechanically but finished manually because it looks quite smooth, rounded, and mirrored. And then we have Côte de Genève across the bridges with the wheels themselves satinated beautifully. And it is just a handsome watch all around. You can see that there is a ratchet wheel atop the barrel that has even been solarized. A timepiece that truly deserves to be called Royale. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.